What's up, guys? Welcome to Blake's Garage. Today I am not working on the E30. Actually, we're not working on that at all. So I'm gonna go pull in the BMW M4, and I have an awesome mod for that thing. I haven't started it in like a week.
Oh yeah, and the F82 swap is running great.
All right, guys, so, whoa, oh, geez, that ripped a little bit. I got this box from ECS Tuning. So this is a new part for the BMW M4. This is 2018 M4 with an S55 engine. This mod should work on anything with an S55. So F80, F82, F83, F87 M2. It'll work on all those. Anything without an S55, you'll have to buy something different. Let's see what we got here. Oh, a little bit of tubing. By the title of the video, you probably already know what this is, but for dramatic effect, I don't know what it is yet. I mean, I do, but I don't know what this particular piece is. I'll just go out and say it. It's something for the intake tubing. There is actually a lot more stuff in here than I thought there'd be. So this is actually kind of interesting. There's some like weather seals and stuff along those lines as well. I got it in the black powder coating. They also have this. They have this in I think a raw aluminum, and then so this is like wrinkle black, and they have this in raw as well, or you can get it in full carbon. Full carbon would be sick, but a little bit out of my price range at this time. All aluminum. Nice and mandrel bent. You know, those look pretty good. I'm really excited to see what kind of choo-choo noises this freaking S55 makes. So factory, this engine, it does not really make that much turbo noise, in my opinion. Under load, you do get a little bit of spool soundage, but this should sound a lot better. So, boom. Another spot, I'm guessing that's for a Maf Sensor right there. It's got two Maf Sensors because it has two different intake pipings, which is kind of cool, actually. It's really cool. Two different intakes, one on each side of the car, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I was talking about a little bit of weather stripping. I'm assuming this is gonna go around where the air filter is to kind of like seal it to the hood. We got fasteners, screws, nuts, some stainless hardware, all more weather stripping, and again more weather stripping and a couple little clamps. I'm surprised at how much weather stripping there is here, but that's good. I want a good seal. Ooh, I see something in the bottom of the box that's very cool. I actually really like to see, and honestly I don't see enough intakes come with it. So I'll show you these real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Man, there is a lot of plastic on the ground, I must say. That little box that I had, the amount of garbage that this thing is producing, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. One of the two heat shields, two as far as I know, right here, has some embossed areas on there with some like nut dirt style stuff, and it is powder coated black. One more trim piece. This one has a nice little Turner Motorsport badge, which I don't know if I've mentioned, but this is a Turner Motorsport intake for the S55. So if I haven't mentioned that, my bad. This is what I was talking about that I thought was really cool. We have some gold reflective heat shield wrap, which is really awesome. So I'm thinking that's gonna go on the outside. I'm pretty sure, maybe it goes on the inside. I'll read the instructions so I know, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna go on the outside of the heat shielding area, and that's gonna deflect the heat from getting to the intake. So that's something that I don't normally see in kits, and it's really cool to see because this is something you'd normally do like aftermarket to be like, I want to lower my IATs, and if I am thinking about doing that, I'm gonna add some reflective heat shielding. So very cool, and it's pre-cut out, which is really nice. I'm just gonna guess L filters. What's interesting here, I'm not seeing any instructions, which is okay. I'll look it up online, or we'll probably just, honestly, we'll probably just go for it, because I don't see anything unless they appear. But I'll do it my way. You guys can see what that way is, which would basically be remove the stuff, install the stuff, and figure it out. Got our little Turner Motorsport air filters here, and we got both pods. So those look to be of good quality. They look to be pre-oiled and all that, and pretty sure these are cleanable and reusable. So very nice to see. Can't wait to make some choo-choo noises with these bad boys. That's all the garbage that was wrapped up in it. Okay, now for the fun stuff. Pop open the S55, which, man, it's dusty. I suck at cleaning underneath the hood. I think you guys can see how absolutely disgusting that is. So, yeah, I'll probably clean this up a bit, because that's not cool. I can't pop my hood and show someone this dusty carbon bar and all that. It's kind of gross, man. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, it's horrible. Here's one of the intake boxes here. We have the other intake pipe right here. And yeah, we're gonna remove this. So it looks like we're gonna have to remove the carbon strut bar. Let's go ahead and pull some stuff off, and we'll start replacing things. I'll give you a quick layout. Basically, remove this bar right here, the strut brace, carbon fiber strut brace. This is gonna take the Maf sensor, which is right here, and we're gonna reinstall that into this piece. There's literally just a hose clamp right behind here that we'll remove and then put the new shrouding in. It looks like right here is where that weather stripping is gonna go to seal in that filter. Now, on this side, same sort of situation, okay? It does not go like that, it goes like this. There's a little hose clamp down here, which we are gonna install into this piping right here, and it's gonna go boom like that. The stock one has this little spot for this hose for the remove a little clip. There's a center pin. You're gonna pop out. Try not to pop this out and lose it, because it is kind of a piece that will separate, so it looks like that. These are super easy to lose, so make sure you don't lose them. In this area here, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3. These are 10 millimeters. We're gonna twist those 90 degrees. Literally shouldn't even need like a socket wrench. You can just do this by hand. And it pops off fairly easily. So boom, that exposes that. Now you can see those bolts there. Now with this side here, you do need to be careful, because this right here is the positive terminal. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to disconnect the battery on your car. However, if you do that, make sure that you can reset your car after that. I wouldn't want you to do that and have some trouble codes up on the car. You would want to have something like Carly, or something like Beamer code, or some sort of OBD scanning tool to where you can reset that. This one pops off as well. Boop. I'm gonna remove these bolts right here. Be very careful. This is the hot battery terminal. So I'll use my 13 mils, bust these loose. All right, so this is where you want to be careful of this area right here. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out. Oh, whoops, I forgot my 110 millimeter. I always forget that. On the expansion tank there's a 10 millimeter bolt, so don't forget that. I've forgotten that in the past. So we'll pull this off here. Like I said, be careful with this. Let's pull it up and out. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful piece of carbon. I think this thing weighs like 4 pounds, which is crazy. It's one of those beautiful BMW M things. Now we have access to the front guy. I think I'll do the front one first, because I don't know, it looks a little bit more difficult, but at the same time it still looks relatively easy. First thing I'm gonna do here, pull out this hose, right? That way it's out of the way. Maf sensor, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. All right, so the trick for this is press down here, push in, and just barely pull up with a screwdriver. I'm not able just to press on that and get this to move enough, so it just needs a little bit of a poke up, and it'll pop right out. Pop this little guy right here, just press in 2 little spots, and we will unscrew this little clamp right here. That should pop out, so that looks good. All right, now we do also have this little fitting. Should just squeeze this together. It should just pop off. Let's see. There we go. Squeezed it. That pops off. Usually this just pops in with a little seal. So as you can see there's that little seal. That whole intake piece is out. So I'm just gonna keep that all in one. That way if I need to pop it back in, I can very easily. I went ahead and popped off this Maf sensor, same thing. Push down on this side, used a little bit of screwdriver, just a slight amount of pressure, and pop that out. Now I can go ahead and remove this little hose piece here. This is gonna pop out again, just like the other, and boom, there is the intake out. So far, very simple and easy process. For the shielding, it looks like on the passenger side, it's the one that looks like this. The old intakes actually have these rubber grommets. You'll see a L and a R, so R is for the passenger side of the car, and L is for the driver's side, left and right, well, depending on where you are. You see this little clip right here? It basically goes onto the rail down here. If you don't transfer those over, you'll be like, hey, where does that little piece go? And I'll show you what I mean. This screw hole right here. So we're gonna put the little screw hole, the little grommet thing on there, and then that will plug in and then set right down inside here, kind of like this. Oh yeah, it looks like this little grommet, see? So that actually plugs into this one right over here, and then the same situation with this guy. And by the way, I did install this, the tinfoil back. Looks really awesome. For whatever reason, this hole didn't line up. I don't know why that was. Maybe they moved locations, but yeah, overall looks really good. And that's not something you're like really gonna notice, that I can tell. Maybe slightly, I don't know. Not a big deal though to me. And then boom, that just kind of pops in that general area. And that's kind of how the shield goes. Looks like there's a fastener on the front, so we'll go ahead and get that. This little guy right here, we're gonna install this clip. We'll just slide it on the back side like this, and that looks pretty good there. Oh, I gotta install one of those grommets. These ones right here, that's just gonna slide right here in the front of this bracket. Boom, like that, and then I can install the hardware here. That's kind of gonna fix up this little area. And it did come with this little bit of weather stripping stuff. Now, this particular, you have this one, right, that goes along this area. You're gonna need a razor blade and you're gonna cut all of this stuff. However, this little one, I'm gonna put right here where it's resting on the wiring. So I'm gonna get that like right in this little area here, and I'm gonna cut this. That way we're not gonna cut into our wiring harness and have issues down the line. Now, I'm not sure if this particular one was meant for here or meant for right here on the intake area, but that is definitely a spot you're gonna wanna hit. All right, so there's that area. I put the rubber on real quick, and then when you snap this kind of in, it'll rest against that nicely. So there is a slight orientation to the original piece that you will kind of see where it's notched out, but yeah, pretty much that just goes like that. And then we're gonna install the fasteners right behind there onto the shielding. Pretty simple and straightforward. We'll get an Allen wrench and tighten these down once we're all done. Also, we can go ahead and install the Maf real quick. That was already transferred over. That'll click on. Air filter is gonna go right there. Boom. So I'll tighten that up. We'll be good to pretty much go on that side, and I'll throw my air filter on. Sick. Drop a bolt too while you're at it. That'll be a good idea. There you have it, pretty much on this side. Now, if I did purchase the one with the covers, the setup would be a little bit different. So you can get ones with the, you can actually add the carbon fiber cover. You can get black ones and all that stuff. I may do that down the line. You can do that later, but this is all tightened up. This side is good to go. Let's go on to the driver's side now. So again, with this side, tinfoil back is all on it. You're gonna wanna install this grommet right here. You want to install this little guy at the bottom right here. It's gonna shove in here. This right here, they give you a new plastic grommet that you can replace right down there. And so let's go ahead and take that little screw off, get this installed, and then we can finish this side all up. So now that we have that screw off, I can go ahead and install this whole piece here. It's just gonna pop in like this. That little plastic, or that little grommet down there at the bottom that I was talking about before, that transferred over from the old intake. Want to make sure that smacks down there in the bottom there. Get this around the wires here and reinstall the bolt there. Careful on this, you don't want to over torque it obviously. It's 8mm. We're gonna go with the intake piping here, which again is pretty straightforward. You want to transfer your little clips onto here. So there's the clips, and we're gonna put it down in this area. Make sure you don't drop anything in the intake, obviously. If you do that, you're gonna end up costing yourself a ton of money. So it's gonna go like this. Old hose, right? That's gonna go on these clamps right here. So boom, boom. Easy. This little pipe is going to connect. You just press that in till it snaps on. Go ahead and install the Maf sensor. Just boom, click that on. I'll go get the screws for right here. Also, we need to clamp down the one that's going into the front area right here. But I'll screw that down. The little Allen screws do come with some washers, so make sure to install those. And then we'll just kind of tighten this down to the piece up here, and then torque these down. Now, if you have the carbon fiber piece, I'm gonna say it again, be very careful. You do not want to over torque the carbon one. It's very easy to over torque it, so go ahead and look at the recommendations on that. But carbon is kind of brittle in that aspect, just because of the way the nut zerts are installed in. You could have a tougher time with that. That is all tightened down. Now I can install the filter here, get that popped on. Say this looks pretty cool. So I got to get the strut tower back on right after this. I have all my clamps tightened down, all the hoses are installed and all that stuff. So yeah, that's good. No noises or nothing. Great. Let's put the trim on here. Once we get that trim done, we'll be good to go. As I was cleaning up, I noticed the little nubs right here. These are actually for any of the little holes. So this particular one, like I was saying, there's an option for the cover. This one just fills all of the little holes. You can put these in here and lessen the heat soak that you may receive from the engine bay. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and put the strut bar back onto the car. And when doing this one, be very, very careful of the driver's side over here, as we do have that battery terminal post, and you don't want to short that out. Also, good idea to get all this rubber stuff back into the previous spot that it was. So small bolts go in the front. You have that one 10mm coolant reservoir. Remember, this one's going into brass, so be very careful about trying to not break that fastener. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and torque those down to spec, and we'll be good on all of that stuff. Sort out the little rubber piece over here. You want to make sure that that is surrounding positive terminal here. It's just a good insulator. That's what it's for. Also make sure that all your rubber seals are doing what they're supposed to do. That way they seal the water out. And by that I mean, when you put this on here, you'll put this back, you're going to want to lift up on the seal right here, get it over the top. That way it's actually sealing and doing the dealing. Then turn these clockwise 90 degrees. Do the same thing to the other side. We can push in the little pin guy right here. Good to go on that side. I kind of want to know, how does it sound? Is there a sound difference on idle? Or what's up? At the moment, I can't really tell, so let's go take it on a drive. So now we are driving the M4, and it does make a very good noise. So let's get a quick little idea of how this sounds. So we'll give it a little spool. So what's kind of interesting is it cuts in and cuts out the intake noise. I would definitely say that it's louder, but it's like once you get to like kind of a wide open throttle, you don't hear it as much. I think that's just because of how the wastegates are acting on the car. But you do really hear this cool turbo noise. So it does sound really nice spooling up. But like I say, it's kind of like mid-throttle situation. Here you go. Right, or under load in a higher gear. sounds rad. I really like it. I gotta get some outside shots, so I think I'll get some of those for you guys. But overall, I like the noise. Overall, I'm liking it so far, so I'll get back to you guys if I notice anything different. But I also do think that the exhaust note of the car got a little bit louder. That's how I feel about it, like from the outside and that sort of thing. I feel like the exhaust note is a little louder, and it kind of makes sense because you're gonna get more free-flowing air. So a lot of time that kind of will happen. But yeah, overall, I am pretty stoked on it. Install, I would say it's a good hour and 30 minutes for the install, probably. Maybe an hour if you're doing it really quick, if you like kind of set everything up and read your instructions all the way through and just kind of get it all pre-set up on the ground for you. But yeah, overall, the installation is really easy. I'm sure now I could probably do that installation and I could take it in and take it out in less than, well, probably I could take that thing out in like 5 minutes and I could probably put it back in like 15 minutes. But when you're filming everything and all that, it takes a lot longer. So overall, it is very simple. You do have to remove a couple things, right? You have to remove the strut tower, which I know can be a little bit daunting for people, but literally it's like 10 bolts, so it's really not that big of a deal. Or how many is it? It's 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts. It's not that many bolts. I would definitely recommend to do this modification yourself if you do have one of these M4s. That way you just know how to do it. If for whatever reason you need to put it back for smog or something along those lines, you don't have to pay someone twice because that's just really stupid. Come on, guys. You got some tools. You don't even need much for tools. You need a 10mm, a 13mm, and an Allen wrench. I think that's it. Yeah, if I remember right. Oh, and maybe an 8mm wrench. So most of you guys should have that stuff chilling in your garage. And if you don't, it's a good excuse to buy them. A little bit of a parking garage noise for you. Hope you can hear a little bit of that Terpsky. Downshifts and the upshifts, it sounds sick. Listen to this. It sounds damn good, man. A little bit of, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's getting a lot of Terpsky noises. It sounds really cool, and it's pretty affordable as far as intakes go for M4s or M cars in general. Some of the other ones out there are a little fancier. You can go fancy with this one, mind you, and make it, I don't know, $1,200 or so, $1,150. So it does get up there right with the price with the other ones, but you can have it in like the $600 range as well, which is really cool. Also, the fact that it has the heat shielding and all that stuff, and it redoes the pipes is really nice in my opinion. So yeah, I'm digging it. Thanks for watching, guys. Later, and ciao.